Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to Astroneer. Now, I have been playing a ton of Satisfactory. So much so I found the SAM. And upon finding the SAM, Why isn't this working? You should be making something. Upon finding the SAM, I've already researched the SAM and the MAM, and so on. So, no big deal. So I don't need to worry about that too much. At least on Satisfactory. Now here, I forgot exactly what I was setting out to do. I know that I had a few missions to do. There's whatever, Project Cheer, whatever that is. Collect data circuit, Glacio, not worried about those right yet. I still want to find that. Retrieval of a Galastropod requires data. Find and scan its discarded shells in the forests of Silva. Oh, okay. And then that gives me the terrarium. Alright. Print and fill a medium resource canister. Okay. We're getting to that point. Activate the cores of every planet. That too will also happen. But this is on Novus, I believe. I believe I'm on Novus. And I believe that the sole purpose I'm here is for atmospheric condensing. I brought the resin because I knew I was going to need it, and I knew that the soil canister could make me everything I didn't get. I'm pretty sure this is Novus, and I'm pretty sure I'm here for the methane, is it? Not Visania. Unless it is Visania, and I'm here for... I wouldn't be here for the Titanite. I'm not here for the lithium either. Obviously it's not Glacio, and it's not Atrox. Sulfur, I'm going to have to go get some there. But now that I have this here... Gonna load up the old thing here with some resin. I'm gonna take it with me. Reason being is obvious. You want to take it every time. Every time you take it someplace, you want to take it with you. I need graphite so I can package. Yeah, that's not running very good. There we go. I can borrow my power source for a bit. It's not the greatest power source to go. I mean, you got 3 QT RTGs, and that's it. And a battery, of course. I mean, we're running on fumes, effectively. But that is okay. Set that there. Take that with me, and then I will swap this for a full one. I'll go fill this real quick. Because there's no sense not having the soil here. What's that? Ooh, debris. 2 seconds. What exactly is this thing and why is it so huge? Okay, well, that doesn't mean get underneath it. No, I sat there thinking earlier, I was like, what am I going to do? Because I haven't had, I didn't. I was looking it all over, wondering what I was going to record, and then I saw that I hadn't recorded um, Astroneer in a while, and I thought, you know what? Sounds like fun. I'll do that. It's like a big stone. I mean, I need the soil anyway, but there. Now it's not making repetitive noise. And then it starts making repetitive noise again. You probably can't hear that, but I can. Back to what I was saying about Satisfactory. I've done a lot of the research on Satisfactory. I just got access to nuclear power. And now I'm hoping that I can actually do something with it. Oh! Wow. That was a heap of debris. I will eventually get back to Satisfactory, but it probably won't be my next video. Meanwhile, aside from the Satisfactory thing, I was having a discussion online, and it was about anime. Now, as you probably have known, or will ever know, I'm an avid anime watcher. Now, people would say, "Oh wait, you like anime?" Ugh. I like the stories behind it. There are some that actually have an absolutely phenomenal story, but the rest of the anime just kind of sucks, including the art style, including the narrative direction. And I only watch it subtitled. No big deal. So a while ago, people were saying, "Oh, you have to check out Freerun," right? This was all over Twitter, but everybody and their grandmother was talking about Freerun. I thought, okay, what's this Freerun anime? And so I did some looking. Whoa. That's not fun. That's very dangerous. How dare you? Ah! So I went and I checked out the Freerun anime. I was just like, okay, well, let's give it a good old look see and let's see what we find out. Let's see what we think. And I gotta say, after watching it, to me it feels like a Alzheimer's patient's daily walks. Now, of course, this is going to come off as blasphemy to a lot of people. And there's a ton of people that absolutely love the anime Freerun and they love everything about it. But let me elaborate something. This is an anime that when I saw the preview and I saw people's love of it seemed like it was going to be an action sequence about this elven mage who was upset at demon kind because of reasons that her people were getting destroyed, etc. Blah blah blah. Your typical fantasy plotline. That's how it felt by the look of it. And then as it progressed, I noticed it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like the opposite. It doesn't feel good. It's kind of mid. And it did kind of feel that way. The story was good in terms of what it is. Like, you have a character that you kind of feel for because this character's going through things. Fair enough. But she's looking back at her life like she misses, like, Himmel. And she misses all these people, and she's only realizing it after the fact. Sure, it says a powerful message about time and how time progresses and how we often don't look at it till it's too late. But I'm sitting there going, like, I was expecting more. I was on Visania. Okay. Like, I was expecting more from the anime. So the story, like, ended up being, like, 4.7 stars out of 5. Really solid story, but it made me feel like it was lacking. A lot. It was lacking in the action sequence. There was some comical bits. And it was also lacking in kind of, like, almost a character developing standpoint. Just a second, I gotta sneeze. Sneeze went away. I hate it when it does that. But it felt like the character was lacking development. Like, yeah, she grows attached to Fern or whatever. Whoop-de-doo. But that's it. There's no real intrigue or mystery or anything. I mean, that's how it felt to me. Like, there's nothing really there. There's no there. You know what I mean? And that's how it felt. That's how it came across. And I'm sitting there going, is it good? It's got its moments. But I wouldn't say it's the astounding success everyone thought it was. Right? I don't find it to be that way. I find it to be okay. Middle of the road. Because there was a lot where it was lacking. Where it felt like it could have used more. Whether it be more character growth, more character development. The character actually, I don't know, dare I say, having an emotion that wasn't just complete and utter indifference. Which is fine if you want a character to be completely indifferent and, dare I even say, boring. That's perfectly fine. You have to have lively characters that are in there at the same time to kind of have that juxtaposition so that it feels relatable to a degree. And Freerun just honestly did not have that. The other cast of characters just kind of exist, but I don't know. They just don't feel like they have the impact. Again, that could be me, but I didn't really care for it. I'd say 3 out of 10, or not 3 out of 10. Sorry, 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. 7 out of 10 ish, because it's more of like a 3.5 out of 5. It could have done more. It could have been better in a lot of ways, and that's my take on it. Now, I've watched other anime where the storyline is absolutely fantastic, but the characters and the fan service that's in it and everything just drove me away completely. And one of those where the characters and the fan service of it kind of drove me away. Of course, when I mention it, people are going to have a fit in the comments. I better yet, I'll just give you the premise of the anime, then I'll tell you the title. The storyline. There's this kid. This kid, they live in a world of, unbeknownst to him, angels, demons, fallen angels, that kind of stuff. Basically, it's also the plot line to Shuffle. If you've never seen Shuffle. Also, I don't recommend watching Shuffle. Shuffle's kind of weird. Anyhow, Shuffle goes dark, very dark. But this kind of has the same premise as Shuffle. As you have angels, demons, fallen angels or archangels or whatever. Has it all. And they used to be in a perpetual war with one another, but they've set aside their differences. Now, the main character is being headhunted because he is purportedly to be in possession of a legendary dragon spirit. Seems like a pretty bog standard anime plot. But there's also this other group. This other group wants nothing to do with it. They want just pure chaos. Now, is this where I need the scanner? Can't remember. Anyway, this other group wants pure chaos. Pretty sure you need the squeaker on it, but we'll check. I might have to make another scanner. Do I have steel? No. Do I have iron? 1. Do I have carbon? No. I can make carbon, that's not an issue. I also have argon. Oh wait, I already have a organic. Whoops. So anyhow, this chaos group wants to undo like the normal parts of society. Yeah, bog standard plot, no big deal. He gets drafted by when I say drafted, but he gets contacted and decides to join one of the 3 factions. Now, the 3 factions that are warring with one another, or used to be, there's someone that seeks to undo the peace treaty, albeit very fragile and tentative. And you find out that some of those people, their intentions are good, but their plot is evil. And it's this huge overarching plot with an underarching plot underneath it. Very complex storyline. And because it had too much fan service, I walked away. Seriously, walked away. Loved the story. Absolutely loved the storyline to it. And it dealt with mythological creatures. And if you haven't guessed it by now, you'd be right in assuming that the anime is High School DxD. A lot of people don't like it because they just were like, oh, okay, you get a lot of negative labels. But the one thing I will give to it for what it is it does really good at telling a story. Like, it does really good at telling a story if you could just get over the fan service. Now, this is for the probe. But what... I want to know. Not necessarily the probe, but... because I know that I've found the probe. The probe is... is it off in... I think it's off in that direction. Something like that. That's an exo request crate, I think. No, not that. Yeah, it's right over there. That's the probe. I've already gotten the probe. So that's no big deal. So it's not used to find that. I need to find out how to find the Galastropods here. Or do I just take them over here? That can't be that simple. Sounds like a bad Atari game. Um, no, high school DxC gets a negative connotation from a lot of people, and rightfully so. Wait, I had a carbon here the whole time, and rightfully so because it's just not. If you ask me, it's just not good. It's not. It's too fan servicey. It's too much of one thing. It's just poo. You know. And so I need to. I'm gonna look that up because I can't. I can't remember how to get the Galastropods. I have the terrarium now, but no, it's just it had a brilliant plot line, great memorable characters that had their own individual things. They had their own personas, and they had their own reasons to do what they were doing. Like they had like their own little subplots. Almost, if I had to label it something with a Western equivalent, it kind of felt like the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where each character had like their own little subplots going on under the overarching plot, which even had a bigger overarching plot, right? Same thing. Except but this was done so poorly with all the fan service that it felt tacky and terrible, and it was bad and made you feel bad. And that's why I couldn't get through. I couldn't do it. I loved the storyline, and I was just like, so I had to read the storyline. I went online and actually read the storyline, like a synopsis of it, instead of actually watching the series because it drove me away. The fan like that's the problem is like fan service will drive people away, and you have people out there that don't understand that it's driving people away. I'm looking for the Galastropods on Google here. Give me a second. Let's do the xenobiology lab. I have that. Each one consists of eating snails exploring a different planet to sink buff when fed seeds. Buff will last you 30 minutes. I don't care about the seeds. Need a small trumpet or small squeaker horn. I have that. Let's scan 5 discarded shells on the surface. Yep, got the terrarium. Set up with soil, seed, and a okay. Okay, yep. I knew I needed the squeaker horn, but I forgot about the soil and the seed. So yeah, that's why I forgot about it. Okay. Do I need more? Nope. I need a seed. I mean, there was other ones that had a had a premise to it for like what the anime was going to be, and it failed to deliver. There was one that was like shogun, something about being a shogunate, and it was classes that were reenacting shogunate battles. I couldn't get past episode 1. I'm gonna check back with the quest. It's over here. But yeah, I could not get past it, and that's what I'm saying. Is like there are times when the plot line sounds great, but the characters are terrible, and the characters let you down. I'll provide terrarium with zinc. Okay. Okay, I didn't want to pick up my spaceship. Just set that back down. Aluminum, copper, copper, aluminum, aluminum. Really, I don't have zinc. The one thing I don't have is zinc. Wow, that's not even worth all that many bytes. The mines! But that's, that to me is where the problems come in, is when you have a piece of media that has promise, but then just kind of lets you down. And it's sad because you want to see things with good plot lines. You want to see decent stories take off, because that's kind of the whole idea of a good story, right? The premise of any good movie is a good story. The premise of any good novel is a good story. Then, of course, you have the exact opposite of it, like, Twilight. At which point, I will probably be called, a heretic for stating that Twilight's terrible, but I stand by it. We'll take all three back with me. Ha ha ha. But nevertheless, like, you want, to not have a good story is folly. And that same applies for anime. You want the stories to be good. Like, let me tell you right now, Cowboy Bebop had a better storyline, in my opinion, than Frieren. Yeah. Cowboy Bebop and Trigun, both better than Frieren, in my opinion. Not because they were more action, but because the characters are memorable. The scenes were more memorable. The storyline, much more memorable, etc. Frieren was just kind of, you're there to watch her kind of obliterate demons, you hope. But I mean, of course I'm going to be told that this is going to be like a lukewarm take on it. I've watched some good anime. I've watched a whole boatload of dumpster anime. And there's a lot that I just would not recommend. Like, I would not recommend High School DxD, despite having a great storyline that I had to read Cliff Notes version of. I would not recommend it. I would not. I personally would not recommend Frieren, not unless you're into boredom. And of course, people would say, that's an awful thing to say unless you're into boredom. And I'm sitting there going, it's not awful though. Can't be awful if it's the truth. There we go. Yeah, that was successful. Things is running around, running away from me. The dance with the Galastropodding. Oh, okay. Nice. The Galastropods are awesome. All of a sudden, it just obliterates him, and it's like, congratulations. New mission, Galastropod Care. Why? But why? Alright. Provide more power to the xenobiology lab on Silva. I have a ton of power to it. What do you, like... I mean... Alright, I give it that. I have a ton of power coming to it. What are they talking about? Oh, wait, you got disconnected. There we go. The solo shells. Calidor shells. Okay. You don't want to even know the joke that just went out of my head. There's an old song called Calendar Girl, right? And it goes something along like the lines of like, I love my little, my little calendar girl. Eddie was talking about as like his girlfriend being on the calendar. It's an older song, 1950s. And, the, like, early 20-year-old romance. And so when I saw Calidor, I was sitting there and I heard in my head, my Calidor girl. And it's like, yes, she's out of this world, clearly. Ugh, the jokes. The jokes. Alright, so I could make an RTG, except I don't have another nanocarbon alloy. I could make another nanocarbon alloy. Cosmic bauble. Sure. I need some scrap. Where am I gonna find scrap? Never mind, I may have found some. Not that I need it anymore, but, what, you can't scrap the tractor? Are you serious? Fine, just leave it there. Here, I was thinking I could scrap the tractor. That'd have been great, wouldn't it? I need scrap material. No, we're not scrapping the TNT. I could scrap one of those platforms, but... Do I have more than one of those jump jets? Or do I have just the one? I think I have just the one. Seems like I have just the one. Alright, scrapping time. But there comes a time in every anime viewer's life that they just kind of say, you know what? No. And kind of just agree that, you know, this ain't it, so to speak. Ooh, wait, I could salvage this. We're going to get rid of that. That's a first. You know what? We'll do that. We'll carry those back. And then I'll just hop in here and I'll ride back with the automatons. Not that I'm actually going to do it, but why not? Ooh, wait. Never mind. I don't even have to ride all the way back. Just 2 seconds. If only wrapping gifts was actually that easy. Is it sad that I want to press C to crouch and... Wait, can I literally scrap this because it's a giant box of scrap? No way. There's no way that works. Nope, I was right. It doesn't work. There's the scrap, though. And there's the astronium. And now we can give it this. Give it the old beans. Oh, it fits there. This is the EXO request platform, right? No, this is not the one I need. Never mind. The one I need is over here. Is it? No, that's it. That's a trade platform. The Exo request platform's on another planet, isn't it? No. Is this? That's gotta be it. Shows how little I've used it. There it is. Isn't that awesome how you could just extend your reach by just clicking? I think it is. Osmosis. 3500. Jolly good. Lightheaded. I don't even want to know. I know they're like, you know, bonuses and everything, but I don't want to know. Okay. Good to know that the Shredder could eat that. Did not know that. We're gonna go make this orb. Wait. No way. That's so cool. That little bauble's actually really cool. Oh, I just remembered another example. Dan to Dan is actually a better anime than Freerun. Yeah. And of course, people would say, wait, that's blasphemy. How could you say that? Dan to Dan actually has plot lines that make you want to invest in the character. Not, I can't even say like emotionally, but it makes you want to invest into the character. It makes you want to pay attention. And that's what I think is key. But I got to thinking about it, earlier today because I was mentioning that I still was, dogging on Freerun. I'm hoping season 2 is better. I really am. Another anime that's really good. If you want another recommendation, I also think this one's better than Freerun. Is Let This Grieving Soul Retire. Let This Grieving Soul Retire is phenomenal. It basically takes that whole, power trip main character and turns it on its head. And it's wonderful. So, it's worth a watch. But yeah, we did some of the holiday stuff. I did some of the Exo Request platform stuff. I still need to figure out exactly what I'm doing. I got one Galastropod. I need the other 7. I need to get the other 7 cores. I need to set up a base on Aatrox. I think I have one. Let me go double check that. I had to have put something on Aatrox because I have to have, right? 71%. So we're going to fly to Aatrox. We're going to see if I've got something before I leave. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next video, though. Wait, I have an idea. I also came up with a cool deck idea for Hearthstone. I know that most people don't really care for Hearthstone, but you know what? I enjoy it. And, I enjoy coming up with wacky ideas. Landing site. Hmm. I know I put down a landing pad. I had to have. Landing pad. There it is. I do have a base here. This is where I was getting methane. Or helium. That's what it was. That was the sneeze. That was the one that went away. And then I came back. But yeah, I'm going to somehow figure out how to handle this untamed, harsh wilderness eventually. I might have to bring like a whole paver setup here. And maybe just get to the core. But then again, I think that's going to require drill mod 3. For the best storage sector. That's receptors. Well, that was the one that was in the line with the paver. Yeah. Yep. We're taking drill strength 3. What else is there? Auto extractor. Maybe. XL wind turbine. And a solar array. Takes graphene. That one takes iron, ceramic, graphene, and aluminum alloy. Produces 17 IUs, produces 14 IUs. I might consider those in a minute. Mega Mini Training Shuttle. XL Sensor Canopy. Sensor object that includes reaction slots that can remotely activate usable items. I can't quite get both of those yet, but I do kind of want to make the XL wind turbine and the solar array. I just skip those two altogether. If only I could have the VTOL, that'd be great. Provides 2 small slots, 2 medium slots, oxygen, requires hydrazine as fuel. Oof, that's crazy. What about the rail? I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll eventually get there. I'm leaning more toward these two, the solar arrays and the XL turbine, because I'm going to need the power on other systems anyway. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I did. Even if it was me talking about anime while playing Astroneer. Seems a little weird, but nevertheless. That's what happens in the course of a day or two. You start talking about other stuff and then kind of get sidetracked, and it brings new content. Because, I mean, I could talk about my daily life, but, you know, what am I supposed to say? Unloaded a ton of pellets. Awesome. Yep. Nobody really wants to hear the daily grind, to be honest. But having people and having people in the channel and sharing their viewpoints and sharing moments they've gone through, kind of living vicariously, I guess, would be the words I'm looking for. I think that has more meaning than people think. But I hope everybody enjoyed this video, because I know I did. Hope everybody has a fantastic evening, a wonderful tomorrow, and as always, have a good one.